JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Man shot dead by police in St. Catherine. An investigation is underway into the fatal shooting of a man by the police during an alleged confrontation in St. Catherine this morning. About 5:30 a.m., police personnel were conducting an operation in Redwood District, Guy's St. Catherine, when the man allegedly challenged them. The police say they took evasive action and fired in the man's direction, injuring him. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom has launched a probe into the matter. Missing woman's body found dumped in septic tank. The Clarendon police were last night seeking to locate the boyfriend of a young woman after the gruesome discovery of her body in a septic tank at a house in Milk River in the parish early in the day. Derica Rogers was reported missing on May 27. On Sunday, several bystanders stood in shock as the body, wrapped in a sheet, was pulled from the tank. As the police were assisted by firefighters in retrieving the body, the operation was captured on several TikTok live recordings. Rogers, 21, is from the Gravel Hill community in the parish. It is understood that a search of the property was conducted after fresh cement was found in an area around the pit. As they carried out investigations at the property, the police were forced to keep angry relatives, co-workers and friends of the deceased at bay. Rogers' father was reportedly at the scene and positively identified her body. The deceased woman's cell phone and bag were also found in the pit and are being treated as evidence. Rogers' family and friends had been searching for her since she had gone missing, placing several notices in public places. According to reports, Rogers left home last Tuesday, telling persons that she was going to visit her boyfriend. She was last seen alive at the Milk River taxi stand, at least one person told the police. All attempts to contact her since had been unsuccessful. Over the past few months, several women who had been reported missing have been found dead, in some cases with their bodies buried by their killers. Last month, human remains found on a beach in Portmore, St. Catherine, were identified as those of missing University of Technology student, 20-year-old Anissa Dilworth. The police say they were confident the human remains belonged to Dilworth due to other items found at the scene. Dilworth had been reported missing on May 7. 2 people killed, 4 injured in St. Elizabeth crash. 2 people died and 4 others were hospitalized following a 2-vehicle crash along the Rocky Hill main road between Santa Cruz and Lacovia, St. Elizabeth on Sunday. One of the deceased has been identified as 61-year-old Barrington Hartley, a resident of New York, USA, and Camille Kennedy, 41, a resident of Ontario, Canada. A police report said the crash happened about 5:50 p.m. and involved a 2017 red Toyota Allion motor car and a 2019 white Toyota Hiace. The police said the Allion was heading towards Santa Cruz when, upon reaching Rocky Hill, the driver lost control and collided with the Hiace, which was traveling in the opposite direction. 6 people from both vehicles were taken to hospital, where Hartley and Kennedy succumbed. 4 others have been admitted for treatment. Missing biker found dead in St. Mary Ditch. A motorcyclist who went missing while traveling with fellow bikers from a party in St. Mary early Sunday morning has been found dead. The deceased has been identified as Ronaldo Blackwood, otherwise called Chico, a laborer of addresses in Highgate, St. Mary, and Above Rock, St. Catherine. Police report that Blackwood was among a group of bikers that had left a party in Onoto Bay early in the morning and were heading towards Above Rocks in St. Catherine. About 4 a.m., the other bikers realized that Blackwood was missing. A search was initiated, but they were unable to find him. Blackwood's family was notified, and a search was conducted by family members, including his mother and police on the Onoto Bay station. During the search, Blackwood's black Jamco motorcycle and his lifeless body were found in a ditch in Bottom Bay, Onoto Bay. The Onoto Bay police are investigating. Man dies after crashing into a tree in St. Thomas. A 64-year-old man on Friday died from injuries sustained after he reportedly lost control of his car and crashed into a tree along the main road in Retreat, St. Thomas. He has been identified as Brian Tomley of Yala, St. Thomas, and Maine in the United States. According to reports, about 10 p.m., Tomley was driving a Nissan Tiana motor car along the roadway when he reportedly lost control of the vehicle, which ran off the road and slammed into a tree. Tomley was assisted to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. The Morant Bay Traffic Department is investigating the incident. 8-year-old boy dies in suspected drowning in Hanover. An 8-year-old boy is believed to have drowned in a river in Hanover on Sunday. According to reports, about 11 a.m. on Sunday, the child, who was swimming with his father in the waterway in the Mount Peace district, got into difficulties after slipping into a deep section of the river. His father, it is said, tried violently to reach him, but his efforts proved futile. The Lucy Fire Department was contacted and responded with a team which included trained swiftwater rescue personnel along with emergency medical technicians. They, along with divers from the community who assisted, managed to pull the boy's body from the river and was transported to hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. PM commends St. James Police as parish records single murder in May. The St. James Police Division recorded one murder in May. The division, headed by Senior Superintendent Aaron Samuels, renewed its anti-crime crackdown, codename Operation Storm, which has been targeting criminal gangs in St. James. The lone murder stemmed from a domestic dispute. Speaking in St. James on Sunday night, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness highlighted the success of the St. James Police, adding that the resources provided by the government to the force are having an impact on crime fighting.
So we increased the expenditure along with our long-term strategies and some of the short-term strategies. On my arrival here, I received a report from the local police, and I commend them. They are doing an excellent job. And the report was there was one murder in the entire parish of St. James. One! Coming from over 100 a few years ago. We are moving closer to that aspiration of a peaceful country where you can sleep with your windows and door open. Never be afraid to hope.
Good to see you. Thank you, sir. Welcome again to St. James. I see it's a little bit overcast, so we have to move quickly before the rain. Tell me, how things going?
Some blessings. So far for this year, we have been experiencing a major reduction in murders. Since the start of the year, we have only had 22 murders compared to 68 for the previous year, which is a 67% reduction in murders. But for May, we have only had one murder, which was a knife murder, domestic murder.
One. In St. James.
In St. James.
That is not a transformation, and I don't know what is.
Our last gun murder was in April 27th. And we have been putting some effort into ensuring that we keep this kind of transformation going. We have been doing a lot of work in terms of the communities, working with the communities. The tourism interest, I know that they're very pleased with the SO rating. It was one of the items that I had set out. And as a team, we work hard to ensure that we put everything we need to put in place in terms of the reductions, in terms of the feeling of safety and security within the parish, so that we could have that reduction. I mean, it was a mission of St. James, but also a mission of the area led by the area commander, ACP Wentworth Miller, to have that as our mandate, bringing down the murders so that we can definitely have a safer environment, not just for our residents, but for the visitors who are coming.
Well, listen, I want to congratulate yourself and your team, obviously. I mean, you have done an amazing job to just have one murder for the month of May and to bring down murders overall. I think when you put the reduction in murders along with the travel advisory upgrade for us to a level 2, it augurs well for the tourism belt and generally for the brand.
Definitely.
Because when people see that it is not just, cosmetic, the upgrade, there are real changes happening that underpins the security of the nation and the citizens' security, the personal security that everyone feels. And so I'm very pleased. And again, congratulations and keep up the good work.
Chong's appointment, a symbol of government corruption. Opposition leader Mark Golding is describing as a symbol of corruption in government the appointment of Dennis Chong as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. Golding was speaking earlier on Monday to People's National Party, PNP supporters, who descended on National Hero Circle in Kingston to protest Chong's appointment.
The person on the investigation being put in charge of the agency that is tasked with doing the investigation. We're meeting to defend a very critical principle. We are meeting to defend the governance of this country in a way that is consistent with our Constitution and our democratic traditions. The Prime Minister has problems. The Integrity Commission has investigated him and they are not satisfied with their findings. They have not been able to certify his annual declarations as being in good order. They have referred the matter for further investigation to the Financial Investigations Division, a critical law enforcement investigative agency. There is a whole lot of issues at stake. There's a question of the 28 bank accounts. There's a question of the cash deposits from anonymous sources to his bank account of millions of dollars. There is over $470 million of flows moving between his various accounts in many thousands of transactions. There's the fact that his companies which are involved in those transactions file nil returns with the tax department. And there is the fact that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit entity that goes out and solicits donations for worthy causes, which is under his control, provided resources to his personal company to make financial investments on his behalf. All of these are serious allegations. And these are matters which the person who they have just appointed to head the FID, the Financial Investigations Division, has said there's nothing untoward or wrong. You cannot have a man who's defending the person under investigation being put in charge of the agency that is tasked with doing the investigation.
Cubans detained after landing in Mobay. 6 Cuban nationals, 4 men and 2 women, were last night placed in police custody in Montego Bay, St. James, after arriving in Jamaica illegally by boat on Sunday afternoon. According to reports about midday, residents in Coral Gardens, St. James, contacted the police and reported sightings of foreign nationals exiting a small boat in the vicinity of Harvey Beach. On the arrival of the police, 6 Cubans were found near the vessel. Checks of their purse revealed several identification cards to include passports bearing their names. Attempts to gather information regarding their arrival on the island were futile due to the language barrier. All 6 were then detained. Senior Superintendent of Police Aaron Samuels, head of the St. James Police Division, confirmed the arrest and said the individuals are to be processed by the relevant authorities. JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.